Next one. Today I went for the Iron Man drop and was able to hit the buy now button 3 separate times, but got an error box pop up all 3 times saying unable to secure. What went wrong for me? Do you have insight or experience on this? So I think that they should change this pop-up from error to saying sold out, because that's really what's happening. When you're seeing an error, some people think that it means that like something went wrong, the app glitched, something's wrong with your phone, whatever. Nothing like that's going on. It just means that it's sold out and you weren't able to reserve it. It doesn't mean that there's really necessarily a glitch or a malfunction. Next question. Can we trust Veve to hold our NFTs in the long term? Imagine the Disney NFTs hit insane prices in 5 years. Can we trust a platform to hold our NFTs safely? And my answer to that was, I don't think all these brands, especially Disney, would trust Veve to distribute their products if they didn't have their security up to par. You can rest assured that if the biggest brands in the world are trusting Veve, everyday people like ourselves can also trust Veve. Next up, how early do you go on? And they're referring to how early do I go on to the drop screen. For very, very anticipated drops, such as the Disney one, I get in about 5 minutes early, and that's just because, like we saw with the Simpsons drop, the app crashed, and people who are already in the app, some of them got to stay in, and they got to just keep buying. Well, if you try to get in later on, the app is too overloaded, and it won't let new people on. So for highly anticipated drops, I get on early, but for normal drops and when they have their drop system squared away like they do now, I just get on a couple minutes before. Sometimes if I forget or if I'm in a rush or whatever, I even get on just like 30 seconds before. Next question. After hitting the buy now button, should I be waiting for the reservation window, or should I close it ASAP and hit the buy now button again? So the answer to this is don't leave unless you see that it deducted your gems. So when you're at the reserve and it shows, do you want to purchase? It shows your wallet balance and it shows the price. When you hit buy, it'll start spinning, and then after a few seconds, it'll take your gems. So if you're paying attention to your gems and as soon as you see them drop, get deducted, that means your order went through. If you keep it on the screen, it'll just keep spinning for a little bit longer, and then eventually the green truck will pop up and it'll tell you the details, what mint number you got. But what I do is as soon as I see my gems get deducted, I just exit out. As soon as they get deducted, it's safe. It went through, you're good, nothing to worry about. I exit out and I start going for the rebound because I try to give myself a chance to get multiple on the drop. So if I'm only going for one and if I know that, then I'll just let it spin and I'll let the green truck pop up and I'll see what I got. It's kind of fun. The next question, is this legit? Veve's webpage seems like a scam. So I can assure everybody here, it is 100% legit. Research the team and check out all the licenses that they have. Disney, DC, Marvel, DaVinci. All of these brands would not sign on to a scam. So this is somewhat similar to the other question that I answered about can we trust Veve to hold our NFTs? And this is a very similar answer. This is definitely legit, and Marvel posts about the NFTs, Disney posts about the NFTs, every brand, all the artists, they all post about the NFTs, and the team is established. Look up Alcon, he made Pokemon what it is today. That's just one example. The whole team has a long history of business and success in their fields. So this is 100% legit, not a scam whatsoever. Here's another good question that I've never gotten before and that I never considered, but pretty interesting one. Can I produce my showroom with augmented reality even without any NFTs? And so I actually had to try this one out myself. The simple answer is yes, you can. You can put your empty showroom into augmented reality and you can walk around in it with no NFTs in there. So would it be bad to hit the back button after I'm looking at the Disney item? I heard from other YouTubers that you want to click out briefly to reset the clock, but now I'm not so sure. Should I just stay on the Disney item page where you buy? Please someone let me know. Drop in 3 hours. So the drop is not in 3 hours anymore, but I'll still answer your question. For that Disney drop specifically, I would say don't leave just because there was so much uncertainty on the drops and they tended to crash and everything. So in those specific cases, like I had mentioned in the really, really hyped drops, I would play it safe and not leave. But for the most part, if you leave and come back, it's going to load. You should be good. If you leave right before, it can be kind of sketchy just in case it takes longer to load than normal. And I have noticed that the longer I stay in the countdown screen, it does seem to get out of sync. The clock seems to get out of sync. So I do sometimes go out and back in just to make sure that my clock is as synced as possible. But there's a slight risk, but most of the time, if you give yourself more than 30 seconds, you'll almost always be fine. Just be careful, especially with the big drops. Now we got a question about rarities. What's the difference between common and ultra rare NFTs in Veve? They just look the same. Could someone please explain? So most collectibles that vary in rarity, most of them don't actually look the same. We only see this with a couple, mainly the Marvel ones, like such as Spider-Man, Zombie Hunter, the Zombie Captain America, and then most recently with Storm. We see the same character in different poses, and so in this case, they do look the same. It is the same character. To answer your question, the difference between common, ultra, etc. is the number of editions. So the common is the most common. It will have the most editions, and is usually, not always, but usually the least valuable, simply because most editions, supply demand, Econ 101, all that good stuff. But for most drops that we've seen on Veve, the common is not the same character, is not the same collectible as the ultra rare. But if it is, the difference is just the rarity, the number of editions. If you enjoyed the content, if you appreciated it, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, because it really helps my channel grow and we can spread this video. This video is especially important to spread to as many people as possible, so we can get everyone up to speed, get everyone understanding everything they can about it, so they can make the most informed decisions and just have fun on the app, because it's not fun when you're confused, when you're lost, when you feel frustrated. So I appreciate you guys watching. As always, this has been NFT Flenny. I'll see you guys next time.